Hello, and welcome back to 4-Player LAN Party. I'm still Patrick.
And I'm Vaughn. Pleasure. Welcome back.
Always pleasure, all the time. So, a lot of big news happened. Nothing too big, actually.
Nothing crazy at all.
Activision buying all of, merging with Microsoft. That's it, right? That was it? There's nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, there was that ZeniMax deal that happened.
True.
A couple, what was it, like a year ago now?
Yeah, give or take, better late than never. Oh, PlayStation did buy that little indie studio.
What's that thing called? It's...
Bungo?
You paracord. Was it paracord?
Bongo? Hello Games?
Parcheesi. No, it's not.
Parcheesi. They're getting into the board games.
They're getting into the board games.
They're teaming up with Konami.
Yes.
They're going to pachinko machines.
No, they, so... I don't even know. I can't even say it. I actually forgot now.
So Sony has bought and acquired Bungie for the tune of $3.6 billion.
Yes.
Not quite as much as the Activision, but that's insane for one studio.
It's nuts. And the craziest part about this acquisition is they overpaid. They overpaid. It's the stupidest thing you could ever do is walk up and because you literally, it's like the guy who buys the truck to impress the girl knowing he's got the tiny penis.
No, so real talk, you think they overpaid?
Absolutely. They even admitted that they overpaid. They're like, yeah, we paid them an extra $1 billion so we can guarantee $1 million per employee.
And not only for Bungie employees specifically.
Yes.
Not only did they do that, Bungie has complete and almost complete and total autonomy.
Yeah.
According to the actual specifics of the deal, the only money that Sony's going to be taking out is like a percentage of some sales of certain stuff. But in terms of creative autonomy, Bungie has full control. In terms of creative autonomy, Bungie still has full and complete control. They maintain the ability to make whatever the hell they want, at least going future. Their biggest money-making IP right now, Destiny, completely untouched. Zero plans to be touched by Sony, they said. So, everyone's asking, what are they going to get out of this deal? Why did they pay for it?
And this is where you have to ask, because the deal was actually, implemented about 5-6 months ago, before any news that Activision and Blizzard were coming together. Right. So you have to assume that this was them just trying to fuck with Microsoft because of the ZeniMax deal. They were like, you take my dragons, I take your Halo. Even though they don't own any of that anymore.
Take your chief.
Yes, I take your chief's home. So and then they said, okay, fine. We'll give you money and we won't do anything, you can't do anything for us. We won't ask for any exclusivity. We won't ask for anything. I personally think the deal was done though. In all honesty, I think the deal was done for technology. The same reason why I think that the Activision Blizzard deal had nothing to do with Call of Duty or any of those other properties. It had everything to do with King Gaming.
Yeah, it wasn't about any single individual property under Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
It was about consolidating the competition.
Oh, yeah.
It was about accessing all the resources.
Well, and it's the first time where Microsoft is in China. This is Microsoft's first big property in China.
Exactly. So now they have a foothold in there.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, but there's Chinese Twitter, there's Chinese Facebook. There is literally a China version of everything except King Games. Candy Crush is Candy Crush, not Chinese Candy Crush. So, with that being said, that deal was, $68.7 billion, specifically because now you're fucking in the China market. And if you think about it, 6 billion Chinese people, I'm not sure that's really correct, but I'm starting to think they paid $1 per citizen.
$1 per citizen.
$1 per citizen.
The Chinese government, that's their currency is people.
Yes, they're like, we can give you $1 per person for this. And they're like, yo, we'll make it back in a year, son. Let's go. You buying how many upgrades for Candy Crush? Oh, you can't play your game no more. You better send that yen on over. Come on. So it makes sense as to why Microsoft did that. They have no properties in Japan that are killing it. They can barely get their systems moved in Japan.
Yeah, like their systems in general. They couldn't even do an Xbox-sponsored Halo competition. They had to use dev kits.
Exactly. They don't own anything outside the U.S. And for their U.S. market, is pretty finicky when it comes to, like, I hate to say it, but the U.S. is not very loyal to brands.
Not
Like,
in the slightest.
not at all. Like, we'll leave a brand because some girl says they don't want to see, green bubbles. Like, we're not loyal.
We'll leave a brand to save $1.
Yes. So if you can get an authoritarian figure to sit there and allow, like, that's why the Xbox deal is cool. The Bungie deal has to be for technology.
I think you're right on that. It's also veiled off the technology, but I think there's a bigger thing at play here, and some people have talked about it already. But I think the biggest thing here is the live service aspect of it.
Yeah.
Sony does not have a killer, a game killer for live service. It's the one part of the market, of the existing market today, that they have not been able to break through. They have single player down. They're pretty much, besides Nintendo, they're pretty much the last bastion of single player games. Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted. They got the stuff nailed down pat.
Absolutely.
And they know it. And I think they also know that they have no idea how to make a games as a service game.
No, not at all.
So rather than try and like spin up a studio or take an existing studio, like, could you imagine trying to tell Naughty Dog, hey, make a games as a service?
Yeah,
It'd be horrendous. And I think Sony saw what's going on with EA. What happened with BioWare's Mass Effect Andromeda? What happened with Anthem? What's currently happening with Battlefield?
Yeah.
And they said, hey, maybe we shouldn't take an existing property and try and do that. But how do we get into it? I think they looked at Bungie. They saw the merger was happening because it happened like what? I think they said 6 months ago was the
6
Bungie
months ago
merger.
was.
So there's no way this was a response. But I think going public with it might have been the response to Xbox Activision going public, because now that we know that they were kind of happening at the same time, like when the deals were being worked out, I have a sneaking suspicion that Sony got scared that somehow Microsoft was going to reacquire Bungie. Like, probably not, because I can't imagine a world where Bungie ever goes back to them.
Yeah.
But Sony doesn't know what's going on in Bungie. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they got nervous. That they're like, wow, a huge chunk of the games as a service people just got bought. What, like, because after Activision Blizzard, who's left in the live service field? You've got EA, which I'm pretty sure Sony would rather suck a railroad spike through a garden hose than do business with anyone.
They can't even afford them if they wanted to.
Exactly.
They couldn't afford them if they wanted to.
So Bungie's really the only other tactical option you have, which I think also is why they gave them so much freedom and creative autonomy, because now they have access to the games as a service technology, which I believe was also in their agreement. Like, the contract says that, like, Bungie now has to share their technology and their know-how with Sony, and Sony also will, like, give them resources too. So I think it was less about buying Bungie as a brand and more about, okay, what does Bungie do that we can't? What hole in Sony's like armory here are they not filling? And it's clearly games as a service. Yeah. When's the last major Sony exclusive first-party game that had loot boxes in it or had a battle pass in it?
Can tell you. And I think I do agree with you. I definitely do agree with you. I think that the idea that Bungie would ever go back to Microsoft is, again, let's do another Chinese reference. It's like the Uyghurs going back to China after they got freed. So, like, it's not happening. It's not happening. Like, it's not happening. There are free people. It's not.
If we disappear, we are of sound mind.
I don't even know if I can use that. Like, I don't even know if this is a clip I can put in the video. Like, but I'm gonna try. We're too small. By the time somebody catches this, this part of the video, we'll be so far ahead. I'll take the strike. Fuck it. But so.
What are you gonna do? Fight me, China?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fight me, LeBron? Like.
Fight me, John Cena.
And that's the thing. Like, when you have a company like Sony who, like, let's be honest about Sony real quick, and their coffers are light. They don't have that much money in the bank because they have so many different fields. They have the TV. They have their movie division. They have, which, by the way, their movie division without Spider-Man is gonna suck. Yeah. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. All right.
Name one movie that's not Spider-Man from Sony Entertainment.
That didn't show me the last 5 minutes of the movie. I'll wait. Anyway, so they have a movie. They have a movie company that is surviving by one character that no longer shares a home with a very vast and powerful franchise.
They have a loose grip on it.
They can't make cameras, which I know because I tried to buy a new Sony camera, and I had a guy named Chet sit there and be like, "Hey, buddy, you want a camera?" Like, I felt like the Resident Evil, what are you buying, what are you selling thing, walking into a camera shop. He'd be like, "What are you buying? I got a used DSLR here." But they're all mirrorless now. "I got a used DSLRs. The sensor shortage." So they have that problem. They're running into situations with basically their entire infrastructure as far as not being able to get enough consoles out, and the consoles they are putting out, surprise, surprise, they're not selling a bunch of accessory hardware and games. So they're having a Wii problem where people are more fascinated with getting a PS5 than using a PS5. And then they get a massive stock decrease because their competitor, who they used to think was, fuck them. Like,
fuck them.
Like, it just came out of nowhere and Xbox 360'd their ass. Like,
yeah, they did. They really did just drop a bomb on their lap.
So when you have all of these things combined, and it all happened in a week, by the way. Like, you want to talk about like the worst week ever? It all happened in a week.
The most wild week in gaming history.
It sucked. You really have to sit there and think, we have this console war conversation that happens, and we've always been able to kind of like put ourselves into a more or less a camp because of the games that come out that are exclusive.
You plant your flag where you plant your flag.
Exactly. Now the battle lines are being drawn. There are red flag laws for games now. Like, what? So
a lot of weird stuff happening.
So now you have all the situations that you could ever want with the company, which is you have companies that are creating exclusivity upon exclusivity. So now you're not having the argument of I can get 1, 2, or 3 games or a version or a type of game on one system, but more or less I have the autonomy to do whatever I want. You are choosing the quality of games, and unless Sony, not Microsoft, because Microsoft has bought its way into never having to basically co-opt or accept anything from Sony other than MLB The Show, they have now accepted the fact that, hey, we might have to use Game Pass on a PlayStation. We might have to bite the bullet because in 3 years that contract for Call of Duty ends. And that, no matter how bad Call of Duty is still the #1 seller.
It's a money
for
maker.
PlayStation.
It prints money.
Easily. And it's a console seller. Every other year, Call of Duty would share an exclusivity agreement with like a special edition console for the PS4 or a special edition controller or a headset or some bullshit that nobody needs to buy, but we do anyway because it looks cool. Not really, but fuck it, I bought it anyway. I don't give a shit. It's because of that they were selling things when nobody wanted to buy their systems. And now, are you going to tell me that 2K is cool enough?
Yeah,
like,
no,
are you going to give me NBA 2K and be like,
yeah, 2K22, that's for sure.
And watch. I'm calling this right now. This is a 4-player LAN party vision of the future. And if any of you motherfuckers tell me anything, I will cut you virtually. 2K games will be purchased by Microsoft by the end of this year.
Easily.
By the end of this year, 2K games will be acquired by Microsoft because of 2 separate reasons. Licenses are coming up for a bunch of franchises, including the WWE franchise, which right now is on shaky grounds.
Oh boy.
So if this WWE game sucks, the valuation on this property is going to be so low, it'll be stupid of them not to. Secondly, the NBA contract, I'm pretty sure, is coming up in the next 2 years. And if they're able to own and orchestrate the property as they should, this company, which relies on 1 game for the past 2 years and 2 games normally to survive, will be a Sony property. Not Sony, a Microsoft property.
Yeah.
And I promise you, Game Pass will be on PlayStation by the PS6.
Because there's no way PlayStation Now can compete with it.
No, whatever the fuck they're thinking, Project Spartacus. Oh, by the way, we should definitely say something about Project Spartacus. So, Project Spartacus, thank you, is this tease, this like Nintendo Direct of Sony that they're like, oh, we're gonna come out with this tier system. And just like, I paid 3 years of PS Plus to know, like, now I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like, Now I'm fucked.
Yeah.
It's like the Xbox thing all over again. I got fucking Game Pass Ultimate by mistake. This lady's on the phone with me at Microsoft. Yeah, would you like to upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate to be free? Okay, yeah. 9 months later, I'm paying for Xbox again. I hadn't paid for Xbox in 6 years. Anyway, that's just a bad vibe for me. But what I'm saying is, we're starting to see a service system come together, and the one thing that Sony's not good at is catching up.
Not at all.
I'm sorry, I kind of went on a whole tirade there.
Go, man.
No, I'm done.
No, speak your truth,
I'm
man.
done.
Speak your truth.
I am wholly done.
Project Spartacus is just a series of promises of it might work out.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Well, hopefully we don't have to stream everything, but we will if we have to.
Now, and again, it all goes back to the fact that you don't own your digital games. If every company that made a console had its way, everything would be digital only, because it's cheaper to make it digital only. You don't have to pay to make the physical disc. You don't have to pay for distribution, and more importantly, you can take the game away whenever you want. So that's why Game Pass is so stupidly good of a value, and that's why Sony's trying to make PlayStation Now a thing, even though they started with like retro games. They're like, yeah, it's just like Game Pass.
Like when Bungie
Microsoft
took away those skins.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Just saying.
We didn't forget, damn it.
Never forget.
We did not forget. Going back to the topic at hand, there's also another thing that not a lot of people are asking, and that's, what does Bungie get out of this besides just securing the bag? Like, what do they get besides just, money to secure all their employees and to have bigger production of Destiny? Because Bungie has said time and time again that they want to be a Blizzard Activision type studio where they have a bunch of different projects going on and everywhere. But what's their biggest problem? They only have one IP, and it makes them a lot of money. But now they have a lot more money. But more importantly, with Sony, they now have access to Sony Interactive Entertainment. They now have access to the movie studio. They have been trying to make a Destiny series, a TV series, since Destiny first came out.
I would love to know why this all is happening. That's the reason why I don't like Destiny.
Here's the thing. We've seen The Witcher explode on Netflix. Arcane came out of nowhere. Comes Arcane from a MOBA game. Doesn't even have a story. It just has some lore and some two fan favorite characters that people have posters and body pillows of. Arcane comes out of nowhere and kills it. And Bungie has been trying to make Destiny into their version of Star Wars for years, and now here comes Sony with access to a movie studio that says, hey, we have access to Tom Holland. We have access to movie studios. We have access to a ton of money. Not really, but in terms of what Bungie has, they're like, here, you help us, we help you. So I think now this is kind of less of an acquisition, almost more of a quid pro quo. Bungie gets access to
quid pro quo.
Yeah, Squid Pro Pro. Yeah, Splatoon 3. It's coming to PlayStation, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's coming to PlayStation now.
Nintendo's getting on the cross-plat.
Nintendo, weirdly enough, Nintendo's, with all the tectonic shifts of these acquisitions, Nintendo's only comments said they said they're not interested in buying big studios. They're just more interested in keeping their existing studios making games.
Well, yeah, that would mean they'd have to invest in better hardware.
That would mean they'd have to give us Prime 4.
Listen, none of that's gonna happen, including the fact that Nintendo's not gonna make a new console for another 5 years.
Nintendo doesn't have to make a new console. The Switch is now the highest selling Nintendo console. It eclipsed the Wii finally.
Yeah, but it can't run Hyrule Warriors.
It can run Hyrule Warriors. It can't run Hyrule Warriors in split screen, and I know that because I played it.
It can't run Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity at all.
Yes, it can.
No,
it slaps on single player.
Sir, Age of Calamity. There was one point where I'm
when the frame rate just
and the frame rate's like.
Yeah, that's.
And then all the music came in at once.
Okay, the frame rate does drop. But
a frame rate drop. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it a frame rate drop.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the frame rate dips a little bit.
It comes back
eventually.
I've seen one frame for 2 minutes.
Anyway, the point is, Nintendo said they're not interested in doing any of that.
Yeah.
And again, Nintendo's the weird ball, the oddball, the wild card. They do whatever they want. They're gonna be fine. I always hate, because again, with all this stuff happening, people are saying, "Oh, they should go the way of Sega and be acquired by Microsoft or Sony and just make software." I don't think people understand how much money Nintendo has. The last estimate I saw somebody calculate, I think it was on a Forbes article or something. If Nintendo stopped making any new product today, They just stopped. They didn't sell anything. They didn't put anything out there. They could afford to pay every single member of the Nintendo company the same amount of pay for the next 5 years in a row, day after day, 360 whatever days in a year.
365.
Right?
Well, leap year in there.
And they would never have to dip anyone's pay for 5 years straight. That's the power of Nintendo. And they don't have Sony Entertainment. They don't have Microsoft behind them. So Nintendo's gonna be fine. Let them do their own things. But
I think to kind of like wrap it around. I really think that Sony was gonna do this in the background quietly.
Yeah.
Because I think the deal that was etched wasn't supposed to be put out there the way it was.
it definitely seems like a panic response.
It does. It seems like a panic response to a really shit deal.
They were like,
that
shit. Yeah.
And I really think that Sony was gonna kind of like just sneak Sony Entertainment into like a cutscene and like an update of Destiny
into
2,
the credits.
and just more or less allow Destiny to do its thing while being like a silent partner in the back. And then they saw their stock price just go, and they were like, "We have to say something.
We have to. They had to
like,
stop the bleeding."
Yeah, one of their Japanese bosses like, "You know what we're doing. You know what we're doing."
The guy that
And then boom, they just came out and everybody was like, "Oh my god, they took Halo's company." Because it looks bad. And that's what they wanted. They wanted that publicity of, "Oh, we took you motherfuckers. We got you. We got the best. We got your only guy. You've etched this motherfucker into Xboxes. We got him now. We own the motherfuckers who came up with that." And Microsoft's like, "Well, we own that motherfucker, so I don't know what to tell you." Like,
yeah, can we talk about the amount of people that think Halo's coming to PlayStation now? Bungie has nothing to do with Halo and has had nothing to do with Halo for 7 years.
those are the same people who think Zelda is a guy. Zelda's a guy. Like, those are the same people. Same people
God.
think Zelda's a guy.
People are so stupid.
like, I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Why was that their first response?
Like, what if Zelda was a girl on a t-shirt? Like, I'm just fucking saying. That is literally the type of people who think that Master Chief is coming to the PlayStation. The only way you can play Master Chief is if last year you bought him as a playable skin in Fortnite.
In Fortnite, yeah. And even then, Fortnite just announced Destiny characters are coming to Fortnite, so everything's coming full circle now.
Are you gonna play Fortnite now?
I would rather suck a railroad spike through the back end of a garden
Why don't you
hose.
play Fortnite? Fortnite's fun.
Fortnite sucks.
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing. Are we playing the same Fortnite?
I play Fortnite and just
Look,
the hours go.
Number one, I don't like battle royales as a whole. Apex is my only exception. Number two, when I'm playing a battle royale, I don't want to have to fire one shot on somebody and then have them pop out a mansion out of their ass.
Now
I have to deal with that.
You don't know how to deal with like complex situations in a timely
I do
manner.
know how to deal with complex situations, but when I'm having to deal with fighting and when I'm having to deal with resource management on top of fighting and then fighting other people and other teams on top of resource management and fight, yeah, I hate it.
What is that guy gonna do? He's gonna run out of mats eventually. I want him to build a thing. I know he's
fuck him. You wanna know what I want to do? I want him to fuck himself. I want him to fall. The only way I got kills in Fortnite was shooting them in their fucking mansions and watching them plummet down to the ground. And I teabagged them so hard that I sent videos of me teabagging my controller to the little kids. Fuck them. I hate Fortnite. I suck at Fortnite.
Watch, I'm telling you right now. Fortnite's gonna be bought up by Microsoft. They're gonna buy all of. No, I'm kidding. They don't have enough money to do that. But
remember when Fortnite stole Among Us's Among Us mode, and then they said no, we did it, and then they were forced in court to admit they did.
It was genius. I was very proud of them.
And like the Among Us developers were even on Fortnite being like, man, that looks familiar. They were on Twitter like, wow.
So overall, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting time.
Very interesting times. Wild times.
So we want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Just type a little thing down and tell us the next studio that's gonna get bought. Because I'm saying 2K right here, right now. If this happens, I want all the subscribers. Like, I proved this shit now. 2K is up for fucking grabs. They have nothing. What do they have? Nothing. Zion Williams is fat. Like, they have nothing. He is a big boy. They put him on the cover. The curse is real, and the NBA can't afford it. All right? They can't afford it. All right?
I'm going to throw my hat in for Rockstar.
No. They'd never sell. That'd be another deal where they're like, all right, we'll buy you, give you a bunch of money. Just
everyone said Bungie wasn't going to sell, and they sold out twice.
Well, of course. Of course.
Anyway, let us know which studio you think is going to get bought out. Let us know what you think about the PlayStation merger. Like, comment, sub, ring the bell, body slam that subscription.
Peace.